the witch, Thomasin doesn't begin as a monster. She becomes one. Not because the devil tricks her, not because she secretly desires evil, but because, from the moment things begin to go wrong, everyone around her needs her to be guilty. From the very beginning, Thomasin is different. She is older, she is changing, she is watched. Her body becomes a problem before she ever acts. Her presence becomes suspicious before she ever speaks. Every misfortune in the family quietly circles back to her. If something is lost, it's Thomasin. If something goes wrong, it's Thomasin. She doesn't need to do anything. The accusation arrives first. In The Witch, guilt does not come from action. It comes from belief. Once the family believes Thomasin might be corrupt, everything she does becomes evidence. Silence becomes deceit. Defensiveness becomes proof. Fear becomes confession. There is no version of Thomasin that can convince them she is innocent, because innocence is no longer the point. What they need is someone to blame. As suspicion grows, Thomasin is slowly cut off. Not physically at first, emotionally. She is no longer protected, no longer trusted, no longer seen as a daughter. And isolation does something dangerous. It removes alternatives. When no one believes you, when no one will defend you, when no path back is offered, your identity begins to collapse. Not because you want it to, but because there is nowhere else to stand. This is the cruelest trick in The Witch. Thomasin is accused of being a witch long before she ever becomes one. And once that accusation is made, the story demands confirmation. If she is innocent, the suffering was meaningless. If she is guilty, then everything makes sense. The family doesn't just fear evil, they require it. And Thomasin becomes the shape that fear takes. When Black Phillip finally speaks, he does not corrupt Thomasin. He arrives late. He offers no lies, no manipulation, no grand temptation. He simply recognizes what has already happened. Thomasin has been stripped of family, of safety, of identity. What he offers is not evil, it is coherence, a role that finally makes sense of her suffering. By the time Thomasin steps into the forest, the transformation is already complete. She does not suddenly become something new. She accepts what everyone else decided she was. The ending feels disturbing because it confirms the accusation. But it also feels relieving because the struggle is over. She is no longer trying to prove her innocence to a world that never intended to believe her. The Witch is not about temptation. It is about what happens when fear needs a face. Thomasin does not fall into darkness. She is pushed, and in the end, the monster they feared is the one they created.